So I wanted to create this video on topical authority so you guys can actually understand, first of all, how many articles or roughly how many articles your website will need for it to rank and outcompete your competitors. But second of all, actually how to figure out like what articles are needed on your website. Because a lot of people, what they will do is they'll like load up Ahrefs, for example, and they will just export a load of keywords to do with their actual industry. And it's not necessarily always the best way to gain topical authority doing that. What you need to be doing is a little bit more strategic and actually publishing articles where your users are actually searching for as well. And in some cases, the tools won't actually give you that information. So, for example, right, if I was to search, let's say, divorce attorney in, we'll do Orlando, right? So obviously you've got all of these different law firms, but one thing that we want to make certain that we're also doing as well is we should be looking at the people also ask. So in some cases, what people do is they will search the seed keyword, so divorce attorney in Orlando, but then they might actually search for some of these questions. So how much does a divorce lawyer cost in Orlando? So they might actually, from a user journey point of view, just so you guys understand, right? If I'm looking for a divorce attorney, right, I might be searching this and clicking through to these 3 different results. And I might even fill in the contact form on 3 or 4 different results and try and get a quote and stuff. But the next question that somebody will actually naturally have is, well, I've got 3 quotes back. How much does a divorce attorney cost in Orlando? And if you don't have this article or this question on your website, it means that you're lacking topical authority. So, for example, if we take a look at some of these actual law firms, they're obviously in Florida and they have got a dedicated article on how much does a divorce cost in Florida. And it's just a full-on detailed blog article. And we go through here, a lot of the cases, what you want to be doing when you are looking at any of these people also ask questions is trying to figure out if it deserves its own page. So if I was going to be creating a website to do with divorce attorneys in Orlando, right, I might have one service page. I'm actually going to create a Google Sheet on this now so you guys can see what I'm on about, right? So divorce attorney in Orlando, that definitely deserves its own location or service-based page, whatever you want to actually call it, right? So this is like pretty much bottom of the funnel. Somebody that's searching this keyword, they're pretty much ready to inquire. How much does a divorce lawyer cost in Orlando, right? Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm Googling all of these different questions and the people also ask, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, do they deserve their own page or should they be part of another page? So, for example, how much does a divorce cost in Florida, right? If we go through, what I'm looking at specifically is I'm looking at all of these different page titles. Now, the one time or the times where I wouldn't create its own page is if all of these results or if a majority of these results were also ranking for this keyword. That would tell me that instead of having a dedicated page for how much does a divorce lawyer cost in Orlando, right, I would just have that as a H2 or a question on this actual service page. So in this case, I'm actually going to create a page for how much does a divorce cost, and this is more middle of the funnel. So that's that. Let's take a look at some others as well. Also, another thing that you can do is you've got people also ask, every time you open these questions, you expand them and then you close them, you're going to get more questions. So what type of lawyer is best for a divorce? You could even do the modifier in Orlando, right? We'll do this. Not now. Finding a decent divorce lawyer. So this could be another article that we could actually publish. And again, this would be like top of the funnel. And slowly but surely we are basically covering topics that people would actually have. So does the husband have to pay for the wife's divorce lawyer in Florida? So let's just see. Who pays the legal fees in a divorce in Florida? This would probably be a little bit more attuned. Can I make my spouse pay for my divorce? So again, I'm just going to add this one. And again, this is probably like middle of the funnel. And we are basically just going to be continuously doing that. So, for example, do I have to pay for my wife's lawyer in a divorce, right? So this is going to be a question to actually have on our previous page. So remember the page that we just added here, who pays legal fees in a Florida divorce, right? This would actually be a subheading on that page. It doesn't deserve its own page. And the reason for that is if we actually analyze both of these two SERPs, right? Do I have to pay for my wife's, if we search this one, right? So if we take a look at these set of results, right? So you've got Bruce Law PA, and Bruce Law PA is here, right? Then you've got AO and Ikin, and that is position number 2. So they've literally just swapped for the second and first spots. Then you've got the Law Office of Travis R. Walker. The Law Office of Travis R. Walker. That's not actually ranking for that keyword. Let's just see. Travis Law. There it is there. Right, so these are all fairly similar-ish keywords. So who pays legal fees in Florida for a divorce? Do I have to pay for my wife's lawyer in a divorce in Florida? And does the husband have to pay for the wife's divorce lawyer in Florida? All of these are basically the exact same article. You might just need to include one of these subheadings on the actual seed page. So if you're creating a page on who pays the legal fees in a Florida divorce, you have the do I have to pay for my wife's lawyer in a divorce in Florida. A little bit of a tongue twister, that question, but people are actually asking it, so you need to actually include it on your page. Does the losing party pay legal fees in Florida? Right, so if I do for a divorce, right, who pays? So again, this is a question that we would also have on that page as well as a subheading. So we've actually got 2 questions now on that. And instead of actually creating a dedicated page, that's the worst thing that you could do in that scenario, because again, the results are very, very, very similar. So you've got IOKIN again. You've got the Law Office of Travis R. Walker, PA. You've got OrlandoDivorceLawyers.net, and that was also in another set of results. I believe it's here. So when you're doing this, if you're doing this quick enough, and if you're going through, blasting through loads of questions, you will fairly quickly understand which pages deserve its own page, or which queries deserve its own page and which don't. So if we go back to the actual search, and another thing as well, right? When you delete your search query, Google will also give you related searches as well. So like how to get attorney fees paid in a divorce, right? And again, we'll do Florida. I am obviously in the UK, so getting a little bit of set of mixed results. But again, this should probably be a question on our actual page here. So who pays legal fees in a Florida divorce? So let's see what other divorce attorney Orlando. So let's just see. How much does a divorce cost? What type of lawyer is best for a divorce? How long does it take to get a divorce in Orlando, Florida? So let's just see. How long does it take to get an uncontested divorce? So again, this deserves to be on its own page. So then we've got middle of the funnel. And very slowly, we are creating topical authority to do with divorce attorneys. Now, one thing to bear in mind as well is that this section would only be for divorce attorneys. You need to do this for every single service. So, for example, right, if I just merge these, this would be for our divorce attorney category section, right? So if I just color this in, just so it's a little bit more cleaner to look at, this all deserves to be one section. Then we would, if we were like a law firm, for example, we would probably need to do the exact same thing for, let's say, DUI cases, right? So if I was to do DUI attorney in Orlando, right? So this would be, again, one page to actually include. DUI attorney category. And then we've got all of these pages, which are all just service or location-based pages, whichever you want to deem them as. But then you've also got questions like, how much does a DUI attorney cost in Florida? And the thing is, like, when you're going through a lot of these different services, what you'll typically find is that a lot of the questions, especially in law, for example, it's going to be fairly similar. Like, even if I was to do like dentists, for example, right? If I was to do dentists very quickly, dentists Manchester, right? You're going to obviously get like these questions, but like dentist checkup Miami, we'll just do that, right? How much does it cost to get your teeth done in Miami? What is included in a dentist checkup? Can you go to the dentist checkup for a checkup? Or can you go to the dentist for a checkup? How often should you get a dental checkup, right? But the reason why I'm searching this is if we were to do like teeth whitening Miami, right? It's always going to be, or majority of the time, it's going to be to do with cost. So how much does it cost? How much does teeth whitening cost in Miami? Same with like DUI attorneys. So if you've got a certain service-based website that you're actually trying to rank, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to need to either have a question on a page to do with cost for that service, or have a dedicated page to do with cost for that service. So, for example, how much does a lawyer charge for a DUI case? DUI attorneys, how much is a DUI cost? Yeah, so we are going to need to create our own page for that. And again, every time I'm searching a question as well, I'm always looking at the people also ask. So how much does a lawyer cost for a DUI in Florida, right? Again, fairly similar to what we've actually just searched. How much does it cost to get out of a DUI in Florida? Again, fairly similar to what we've just searched. Should I get a lawyer for a DUI in Florida? This would probably be a separate page. So let's take a look. Should I get a lawyer for a DUI in Florida? Do you need a attorney for a DUI Florida? Is it worth? Yeah. So again, for that, I would get a page written about that. And again, I'm just going to color coordinate stuff so you guys can see it a little bit easier. But as you can see, we're starting to build out the topical authority for each section. And again, as a rule of thumb, right? A lot of websites, they don't even create any of these blog articles. Literally all they'll do is they will have the divorce attorney in Orlando, DUI attorney in Orlando, immigration attorney Orlando, right? They will literally just have the main seed pages and they won't have any supporting articles. So as a rule of thumb, get 5 articles for each service. Obviously this is going to depend on like the difficulty of that keyword. Like for example, DUI attorneys Orlando, you might need more supporting articles, but just as a rule of thumb, if you've not done any topical authority, if this is kind of like the first time you're looking to rank for keywords, like your main service-based keywords higher, right? Just as a rule of thumb, go and get 4 articles per service. So for example, let's just take a look at these guys, right? So these guys, they've got a load of different services here. If we take a look, right, they've got practice areas. So they've got domestic violence, drug crimes, misdemeanors, homicide, murders, violent crimes, sex crimes, theft crimes, burglary, fire alarm violations, white collar crimes, right? So for each of these individual services, go and get 4 or 5 as an absolute minimum. So if you're getting 5, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you should at least have 50 blogs to do with each service. So 5 for each blog. And to be fair, these guys, they seem to know what they're actually doing. What you want to make certain that you are doing from these blogs as well. So like, for example, how much is a divorce cost in Florida? Let's just load up whoever's ranking for this. What you need to be doing is this website being hacked? Yeah, this website's been hacked. Okay, so we will ignore that first one. We'll go to the second result. So if we take a look here, right, what you should be doing is making certain that you're internal linking to other pages throughout this actual section. So for example, they've got a page to do with division of shared property, which again, pretty important if you're going to go through a divorce, right? Because if you might have a partner and you might have a house together and you want to make certain like who gets the house or how do we divide the property out. You've got alimonies, you've got simplified dissolution of marriage, without shared property or children, with children. So again, who gets the children? So they've got internal links to all of these different actual pages going through it all. So that's what you need to be doing. So if, say for example, you might end up having 25 articles to do with divorce attorneys in Orlando, right? You want to make certain that everything's getting internally linked to. Just think of somebody that's landing on a page. What would they potentially have a question about, or what would they potentially search about after reading that first article on your website? And if you, for example, if you've got how long does it take to get a divorce in Florida, right? Their next question might be who gets the kids after a divorce in Florida, right? And what you should be doing is obviously having that as an article, but also internally linking from this article to that other blog post. Let's just see what these guys are doing. Divorce attorney. So they are internally linking to their main divorce attorney page here, which is a good start because that's the page that's going to get you all of the leads. But let's see, kids. They don't actually internally link to it, but they might not have a family law attorney. So this could definitely be part of that. But let's see if somebody has got kids. Contested divorce. So like they actually do have parenting plans as well, and then they've internally linked to family law attorneys as well. So this is what I mean. You need to kind of put your mindset in the thought process of what would somebody search after reading this blog article, and making certain that you actually internally link to that blog article as well. But that's been a video on topical authority. I hope that has made a lot of sense. Just remember to always look at the people also ask, and make certain that if you're going to be writing a article on one of these questions to do with the people also ask, if it deserves its own page, analyze the SERP. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like. And as always, if you guys do want a growth strategy call for your website, maybe you're struggling to rank, check out casualdash.com. The link will be in the description. Fill in the contact form and I will be in touch. Thanks.